Today we'll be making a Filipino dish called Laing. Laing is made out of dried taro leaves. This dish is usually spicy and commonly served with rice. Here are the ingredients for our laing. We're gonna need 6 cloves of garlic, minced, 1 whole onion, sliced, 1 cup of ginger, sliced. We're gonna season with some salt and some fish sauce. We're gonna need a 1/4 cup of alamang guisado or shrimp paste. If you don't know what alamang is, this is a shrimp paste commonly used in the Philippines. You can easily find this in Asian stores. 1 teaspoon of sugar to balance out the saltiness. 4 cans of coconut milk. These are the 400 milliliter ones. I have a pack of dried taro leaves. This is about 100 grams. We're gonna need 1/2 cup of chili peppers. So unfortunately, these are the only chili peppers I have in my plant. So the chili peppers depends on how spicy you want. So you can add in more or less depending on your liking. We're gonna add in about a cup of shrimp or prawns, shell on, about a cup of pork. I'm using pork belly for this, but you can opt out of the proteins and just keep it just the taro leaves and the other vegetables. And to add body to our dish, we're gonna add in 1 cube of shrimp bouillon. This is optional, you don't have to add that in. I just think it adds body to the dish. So we have our pan over medium-high heat. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add in some oil. And then we're gonna saute the ginger, onion, and the garlic. First I'm gonna throw in the ginger so that it'll infuse the oil with that ginger flavor. It doesn't really matter if you're doing the ginger first, the garlic, or the onion. The only key here is you're infusing that oil with all that flavor. Now we're gonna add in our our garlic and our onion. We're just gonna continue sauteing it until it's aromatic. Until it's nice and soft and translucent. It's starting to smell nice in here. Now we're gonna add in our pork. Again, the pork's optional if you just wanna keep it without protein. And you don't have to use pork belly. You can use leaner cut of meat if you prefer. Now we're gonna season with a little salt and fish sauce. This will give it that umami flavor or that umami taste. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add in our shrimp paste. For those of you that doesn't know what an alamang or a fish shrimp paste is, it's kind of just like a very small fermented shrimp turned to paste. It has a very strong salty flavor, and if you're not used to it, it can be overwhelming, but it's actually very good if you're used to it. So we're gonna add in our alamang. And mix it around. Now we're going to add in a little salt to balance out the saltiness. And we're gonna add in our shrimp bouillon. For me, the shrimp bouillon will give it that body instead of just the saltiness from everything else we're putting in. Okay, now we're gonna be adding in our coconut milk. Now, I'm using about 4 cans of these. And also, if you're using the canned ones, make sure you shake it well before you open it and use it. I know it looks a little soupy, don't worry, because since our taro leaves are dehydrated, what it's gonna do is it's gonna absorb all that coconut milk, and we will reduce that sauce so it's nice and thick. So once it's all in there, give it a stir. So we're just trying to bring our coconut milk to a boil. And then we're gonna be adding in our dried taro leaves. Make sure you mix it every now and then until it starts boiling. So as you see, it's starting to boil. Next thing we're gonna do is add in our chilies. Again, it's up to you on how much chili you're gonna be using. Unfortunately, that's all I got in my garden, so that will make do. Also, you can add in chili flakes if you prefer. Next thing we're gonna do is add in our dried taro. Try to break it apart. I know it looks really super right now, but later on, all these taro is gonna absorb that coconut milk. Reduce your heat to medium-low so it doesn't spill over. There, just constantly stir it around. Make sure it's nice and evenly coated. For those of you that's been using taro before, you know it gets itchy in your throat or in your hands when you're touching it if it's not fully cooked yet. That's because this taro leaves, they contain oxalic acid. And it is usually removed when it's sun-dried. That's why, as you see, it's dehydrated. And then, of course, when you cook it, it gets rid of it. As you're cooking this, make sure you don't taste it yet until it's fully cooked, or else your throat's gonna get itchy from that. Now we're gonna cover and let it simmer for 15 minutes until it's fully cooked and soft. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Let's check on our Laing dish. It's nicely coming along. Stir it a little to make sure you stir it around. And as you notice, it's absorbing all that coconut milk and it's becoming thick. What I'm gonna do now is we're gonna leave it uncovered so that our sauce thickens. At this point, it's okay to taste it, see if it needs more seasoning, and adjust accordingly. So let's taste it. Very good. I think it needs a little more fish sauce. It's becoming really thick. So it will just continue absorbing all that coconut milk. I just wish I have more peppers, chili peppers, so it's nice and spicy. So instead, we're gonna add in a little pepper flakes. That's optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want it too spicy. For me, this dish is perfect when it's spicy. Because traditionally, you're eating this with rice. So the rice will kind of balance out the spiciness from the dish. So we're gonna continue simmering for about 5 minutes to reduce it. All right, let's check on our dish. It's nice and thick. This is how you want it. If it's too saucy or a little soupy for you, you can cut back on the coconut milk by 1 can. But this is what I prefer is something like this, really saucy. And also, it will keep absorbing that coconut milk as time goes. So now, next thing we're gonna do is taste it again, make sure it's well seasoned. Wow, I really miss that flavor. So now that's pretty much done. What we're gonna do now is add in our prawns. We're gonna add this at the end because if you cook it in the beginning, it's gonna be overcooked and very tough to eat. So we're gonna place our shrimps in. Again, these are skin on and head on shrimps. Like that. Let's partially cover it and let it sit for about 3 minutes. And then we're gonna flip the shrimp and cook the other side for another minute. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. Let's check on our shrimp. It's partially cooked, so what we're gonna do now is flip it over and cook the other side. And we're only gonna cook it for a minute because you don't wanna overcook it. It will make it chewy and tough. So again, partially cover it and give it a minute. You will know the shrimp is cooked when the color change. All right, it's been a minute. Let's go check on our dish. And that is ready. What we're gonna do now is plate it. Here's our finished dish, Laing. Hope you enjoyed today's recipe and we will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.